What up, Super Players? It's the homie C-Rod, and today I got a super duper, the biggest giveaway we've ever had on our channel, and it's all thanks to untapinvestors. If you guys don't know who they are, quick rundown of who's giving this ultimate giveaway, and I'll show you what I'm giving away as soon as I pretty much tell you who untapinvestors are. If you guys have magic cards laying around, but you know you want Dragon Ball Super cards, and guess what? untapinvestors got you guys covered. All you guys gotta do is hit them up, be like, yo, I got these magic cards, what could I get for Dragon Ball cards? You know, trade some magic cards pretty much for Dragon Ball cards, and guess what? You got more super content for yourself. And because of them, we got this epic giveaway. What I'm pretty much gonna be showcasing you, thanks to untapinvestors, we're gonna be giving away 2 starter decks. These are the new ones, the Super Saiyan 4 and the Piccolo starter deck. That's not it. untapinvestors is going ham, and we are also giving away a sealed ultimate box. Yup, a sealed ultimate box. It still has that Bandai seal approval, and it's gonna be epic. And not only that, before I start my meta analysis, thanks to untapinvestors, huge shout out. Check them out. You guys gotta check them out. Trade some magic cards for some Dragon Ball cards. We got you guys covered with 2 ultra pro I can't even speak, this is so super ultra pro playmats, guys. I'm hooking one super player up, and you guys are probably like, what do I gotta do to get into the super giveaway? All you guys gotta do is like this video right here. It's gonna be a meta analysis right here. I'm gonna talk to you what decks are winning, got you guys covered, what you guys should take to regionals, and on top of that, you could possibly win all this super stuff, 2 starter decks, 2 playmats, and an ultimate box to make everything super for you. And it's all shout out to untapinvestors yet again. I can't stop saying their name because they're making this possible. So all you guys gotta do is hit a like on this video, comment on the comment section below whatever you like, what deck you guys think is the coolest out of these, and huge shout out to untapinvestors. So that's all you guys gotta do. And want to get an extra entry? Go follow our Twitch, because we are gonna Twitch the new Core TCG event regional coming up in Portland. And if you guys, I don't want you guys to miss it, because who knows what other meta decks are gonna spur up. So this is what I got for you guys. That's all you guys gotta do. So follow our Twitch for an extra entry. Those of you that were watching the Twitch stream, you guys know what you guys are supposed to do to get an extra entry for this. So that's already enough. I already gave you guys an extra, like, that's 3 entries you could possibly get for those of you that were watching this live stream on Wednesday. But let's start with the meta analysis. So what I got for you guys here is first deck we got is Agarn. Okay, yes, this is one of the most broken decks in the game. A lot of people like to call it Agarn Storm. Some people like to call it 1-2-3 swap or 1-2 swap. Some people like to call it Goten a rush. All I gotta say is you win in 2 turns. That is this deck. The premise of this deck, quick rundown. All you gotta do is use Agarn's effect to draw into a Bardock, which is Bardock the Pragnator, and you play him, you strike yourself, and you attack. After you attack, make sure you have a Goten in hand. You swap after you attack for the Goten. Once the Goten's out, you attack with the Goten, you pick up 3, you get one of these cards that untaps, like Unyielding or a Senzu Bean, turn 2, and then you just rinse and repeat. You swap, rinse and repeat, swap, rinse and repeat. You just try to get like 20 attacks in 1 turn, turn 2, and then you finish them off with a Scientist Fool or a Double Strike Champa, and that's this deck. 2 turn kill. The way this deck works is you gotta flute your Goten after you attack. You play another Bardock, and you strike yourself, and then you self-awaken, and then it's just an infinite loop cycle. 1-2 swap, Storm, whatever you guys want to call it. This is what people call a degenerate deck, or Dragon Ball Super card game is broken deck. But don't worry, once that flute gets dropped down to only be able to play 1 in a deck, you know, all you guys are going to be able to play other leaders and not get wrecked by this guy. So that's your Agarn Storm, or 1-2 swap, or Agarn, whatever you want to call it. Most broken deck in the game. I don't even want to talk about this deck anymore. Just check out the battle. Huge shout out to Chris 2 from Shenron's Lair for showcasing this at Core TCG Regionals in Los Angeles. And yeah, he's the one that pretty much invented it and obliterated everybody with it. It was kind of crazy how broken this deck is. And now let's get into some spicier decks. What are some more spicier meta decks? Well, we got Son Goku. It's another broken leader, but this engine is not as broken, okay? So what we got here is we got the Majin Boos to draw, and long story short, this is what you call Super Saiyan 3 Control Green Blue deck. The reason it's called this is because a lot of people like to control the situation. You're controlling like the whole match pretty much, because you get a lot going. You play your blue energies, you play your Boos, your Majin Boos, you draw cards, then you self-awaken with Tapion, whatever. Once you have enough energy, you play your barrier combo on Anilaza, and then what Anilaza does is, he's a barrier, so you just leave him there. He's a double strike, and whenever your opponent wants to combo, they pretty much have to discard a card, and then you play your Piccolo to control the field and just get rid of stuff continuously because they're barrier, they're not leaving. Then when you accumulate enough energies, you play your Scientist Boo to go for game. And that's pretty much this deck. You just control the whole situation, you ramp up, you kind of stall out, and then you go for game once you're ready and you have a big old board, and that's this deck. Pretty broken deck. And this is another deck that gets W's, guys, so don't sleep on Super Saiyan. You could even go mono blue control, and instead of adding combo on Anilaza and whatnot, you add the new Vegeta card, and you could either go either way, but this deck is more prevalent with the W's, okay? So that's Super Saiyan 3 Control Blue Green. You could go mono blue as well and just add Vegeta and just add all blue cards. So the next meta deck, let's go a little bit spicier, right? A little bit less broken. So now we're getting into the, let's say, tier 2 leaders. So we got Pan. Pan is not a scrub. Man, we had a prestige meta player playing Pan at the top tables. I think he topped at the 500 player regional. I think it actually exceeded 500 players. And he was playing Pan, and his was predominantly a mono red Pan deck. And this deck right here is pretty darn good. What's the premise of this deck? Obviously, it's going to be running Zeno. What you do is you protect your life, you play defensive predominantly in the beginning. Obviously, it depends what matchup you do, but you want to play defensive. You know, then you self-awaken with the intensifying power Trunks, you know, critical, strike yourself, and then you evolve into chain attack Trunks, and then you play the Zeno once your opponent's killing you. After you do that, you negate with your topos, and then once you have enough topos or the Vegetas, you combo the Vegeta to draw a card and stay at a good healthy life. You play your Fearless Pan, give them all double strike, 5k extra boost including your leader, and that's pretty much the premise of this deck. You can either go the negate route or you can play Bodyguard Electric. Mono red seems to be very good. My version of Pan right now that I'm playing is blue red, because you want to play a little bit more defensive just in case you come across a Storm deck, Agarn Storm. That's a lot of pressure. So Pan is a fairly good deck, and you can modify this deck to your own playstyle, but this right here is predominantly pretty good, and it keeps up with the meta, guys. Just know if you're playing a Agarn Storm, you're most likely going to lose in 2 turns, because that deck is pretty unfair. So moving on to a little bit more spicier decks, guys, and huge shout out to untapinvestors yet again for the Supah giveaway. So don't forget, do all those things to be able to get an entry, because that's a lot of stuff we're going to be giving away. So next, we got Vegeta. This was also another undefeated deck profile at Core TCG's huge regional event. This guy, Steven, huge shout out to you, man. Thanks for being on our live stream. He showcased this deck. Unfortunately, this deck has no chance against that Agarn Storm. That Agarn Storm is just too broken, or 1-2 swap, or Goten Rush, whatever. This is pretty much the same. It's using that Storm engine or the Goten engine, where you pretty much strike yourself with Bardock and you take a life, you self-awaken, and you swap with Goten, and then you attack, you untap, and you just copy, rinse, and repeat. That's all you do with the Bardock, the Goten, and the swap engine. But the unique part about this Vegeta is that if you guys don't know what Vegeta does, once you're awakened, you get to switch energies from your energy zone to your hand, and you just replace your energies. And the reason that's good is because we're running the Force Ejection Mass Saiyan. I think that's what his name is. And what he does is he pretty much destroys one of your opponent's energies, and you can just play with 3 energies. And because of Vegeta's effect, you swap energies, or you don't even have to place the energy down. Then you play the Bardock, you take one of their energies, then you attack with the Bardock, then you flute the Bardock, and then you just rinse and repeat with the Mass Saiyan to keep your opponent at energy lock. They're only stuck at like 2 to 3 energies, and then you just bring out your double strike Iron Will Bardock, and you pretty much kill them with that guy, because it only requires you to use 1 energy to play that big old monkey and go for game. And then obviously you can play either the double strike Champas or the Scientist Fu. Either or. I think the double strike Champa is slightly better because you might overwhelm with the Mass Saiyan. So that's this broken deck. It went undefeated until it faced the Agarn deck. So this is another broken deck right here you guys could try out. And next, a little bit spicier, another meta deck that was making it tops at Core TCG's regional. And don't forget, guys, you guys could also pre-register at Portland. We're gonna be there, and make sure you guys say what's up. Don't be shy. I'll take time out of my stream if it's not too serious to say what's up and ask me for some rounds to play. If I got time, I'll definitely get a match going with you guys. And we got Trunks. Quick rundown of Trunks. What he does is, the leader is when he combos, you draw a card. So this deck is pretty much all combo power and offensive pressure. So long story short, what you do is you attack with Intensifying Power Trunks or Saiyan Kaba. You strike them down, you get them at low life, and then obviously you Zeno them. Once you Zeno them, you flip the game, and then you use the flute to either bounce back more Saiyan Kabas to go for game some more, or Scientist Fu. And then once you're awakened, you draw a lot of cards when you combo, and then we got more super combo. Every time you're super combo, once per turn, you draw 2 cards, and that just pluses you a lot after you Zeno. And then you just double strike them to go for game. And then you Scientist Fu them after you Zeno. So that's the premise of this deck. This deck is pretty darn broken. It's one of my original deck builds and one of my favorite. So pretty much, long story short, you hit them a lot, then you Zeno them, and then you draw a lot, and then you out-resource your opponent with pressure. That's that deck right there. Trunks, still meta, still relevant, still kicking butt. And last but not least, the last deck I'm going to showcase that are like the best decks in Dragon Ball Super card game as of now, as of the game state now. And we got, obviously, Agarn. Same kind of engine as the last one, but this one is more control Zeno, okay? Because of Agarn's effect that once you have 4 energies, you get to take one of your opponent's cards, well, your opponent chooses, and puts it on top of their deck. So the way you play this deck is you kind of like try to defend a little bit, you overwhelm their cards and whatnot, and then once you're at 4 energies, that's when you Zeno them. Once you Zeno them, you attack with Agarn. Once he's awakened, and they draw 5, once he's awakened, they're going to be putting 1 to the top of their deck, and they're going to have to combo, leaving them at 4 cards, and then they decide, do I want to take a double strike after I got Zenoed? And then, you know, you could also play a hit, and then after you Zeno them and you attack with your awakened Agarn, they're going to have little to no cards in their hand, and then you just go for game with a hit or a Fu or a double strike, and that's this broken deck right here. So all these decks are broken, all these decks are Supah, and all these decks are guaranteed to get you W's. And obviously there's other decks that just, I didn't want to make the video too long. It's already 15 minutes. So these are the decks that are kicking butt at regionals. These are the decks I recommend to play at regionals. Obviously modify them to your playstyle. And there's some other decks out there, obviously, that are good, but these are the best ones, the most prevalent to win and get you W's. So that's gonna be the end of the video, and all I gotta say is hit a like, comment where you're from. For those of you that were in the live stream on Twitch, you guys already know what to do. Go follow our Twitch for an extra entry. And on top of that, like, I just want to tell you again what you're getting. 2 playmats, man. 2 playmats to play with you, your friend, and 2 starter decks to play with you and your friend, and an ultimate box, because you know we gotta make the giveaway ultimate. And this is the ultimate super giveaway with the most meta decks. So that's gonna be the end of the video, and like we always say, y'all stay super giveaway. Damn.